Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today's October 30th, 2018. As usual, this video is sponsored by camerastore.com, based in Finland. Ships very fast. I just actually got this little Olympus, which I made a quick video about it. But yeah, highly recommend them. And thank you for sponsoring this video. So this week's news, I'm going to try to be fast because last week I blabbered all over the place. So excuse me for that. But yeah, let's start with the news. We have Nicosphotonews Pro. Someone sent me this information and I totally lost what the source was. So whoever it was, thank you so much. Please get in contact with me just so I can thank you again personally. But Nicosphotonews Pro is a plugin for Lightroom for those people that scan either with a scanner or with a DSLR their negatives and they invert them in Lightroom. So this is a plugin that you put in Lightroom. It's not free. I think it's $99 for the license. And then what you do is you take a picture and it lets you batch, edit and whatnot. They have a very nice video on their website where you can see how it works. So I've been told that it works really well. I want to try to do the testing. They have a test or beta testing for 12 images. So I want to try that out. But I'm waiting to get my pixelator from Hamish Hill. So as soon as I get that, I will be testing Nicosphotonews Pro. In other news, we also have MS Optics with a new lens. Bellamy Hunt from Japan Camera Hunter posted it on his website. He's got the pre-orders, if I'm not wrong, of the 73 1.5 Sonatar. So basically a very long-ish lens with a pretty wide aperture. So with a lot of character. As always, MS Optics makes very small niche lenses, handmade in Japan, and I highly recommend them. They look awesome. I've never used one, but they look so good. In other news, we have someone that stuck an Instax Mini to a drone and did some aerial photography, which is pretty darn cool. I found this on Petapixel, but it's very, very cool to see people do that. I had an idea a long time ago about putting certain camera on a drone and getting some, actually landscape pictures, but still I haven't found someone that has a drone that can lift such a camera, and the way to trigger the shutter more than once also was not easy. But yeah, if you want to check how someone put an Instax Mini on a drone, it's pretty cool. Jack White from the White Stripes has launched a photo lab in Nashville. So for anyone in Nashville that wants to develop, now you've got a place there. They say everything's going to be done by hand, but I'm guessing by hand for film developing must be, a dip and dunk where, you load the film by hand and it goes into the machine. I doubt that they're going to be developing every single roll by hand like that. So yeah, very exciting to see a new lab and, someone like Jack White support the community of photography. They also have like a studio I think you can rent, so you might want to check it out if you're around Nashville. Also, we have an update from Reflex talking about all their little issues with the production. If you haven't seen the interview with Lawrence at Photokina, I posted it a few days back, so that should be fairly new on my YouTube channel. And it was very interesting to see how they're working and how it's coming to, a physical product, and, how they've diversed into lenses too, and his passion for old cameras and styles, which is very, very interesting. Also, a little article from Stearman Press about labeling your film negatives on film holders. So those people that shoot large format, there's no way to actually, label which negative comes from which film holder. Some people used to create notches on the film holders. Some film holders actually had numbers that you could spin, like the graph lock and whatnot. But this labeling system looks pretty cool. It's basically a little sticker that goes into a recessed part of the film holder. You do get the number on a very tiny little corner of your negative. But if you're one of those that loves knowing what negative came from where, to know if there's some problem with the light leaks or film holder or developing, it's a pretty cool system, I have to say. Also, we have news from Intrepid and their enlarger. Their Kickstarter has 4 more days. So those of you who are still wondering when should I back it up, if you got paid, it's almost the end of the month. You might want to grab and support that Kickstarter. They've also made the prototype, at least for the Kickstarter, slimmer. So now it's like a chunk slimmer, which is very nice. I've got the prototype and it's pretty thick. And they've also made the negative holders metallic, which also is very nice because the 3D holders Didn't feel bad. Of course, they were prototype, but they probably feel much better in metal. So you might check that out. And I'm telling you, there's like 4 to 3 days, depending on when you watch this, for that Kickstarter to end, and then you'll have to pay a little bit more for the Intrepid enlarger. Also, we have an update from Mint and their RF70 InstaCon. They've been working production. They're still doing them by hand every single day. They do between 3 and 4 because they still don't have a production line where people that are not so handy can put them together. They're having their in-store person making them. So they're going to take a few months to still build all the pre-orders. If I'm not wrong, I read 300 pre-orders. So they're still putting them together, shipping them and such. So if you're one of those people that that purchased it, you will be getting yours very soon. Another Kickstarter that just launched, and I think probably a lot of people haven't seen, is the Optima12 Print. It's a print and film, a processor and washer. It's made by the person that I think invented and built every single Nova processor. If you've ever used a Nova, it's the darkroom little processor that uses these slotted tanks that require very little chemistry, have a very little footprint to the air. So that means minimum evaporation, minimum contamination, minimum waste and all that. You can even store it with a little lid so you can use it another day. So they've made the Optima 12, which is a huge, pretty big little processor to develop film. Develop paper and wash paper. So it's very cool. They have a Kickstarter, which their price point is quite low for the goal. The machine is not cheap, of course. It's, I think, 380 pounds for the smaller version, and I think like 800 and something pounds for the bigger version. But I have a few friends that have these Nova processors, and they're top-notch quality, amazing machines, and very much worth their money. If you have a small darkroom, or if you don't develop or print all the time and you want to, make small batches of chemistry, it's a great option. Also in Kickstarter and already fully funded is Ondu Pinhole 3rd generation cameras. They have a camera that has a little like rise and fall, so it has little 3 pinholes. So depending on if you want to get more on the top or more on the bottom, you open a one hole or the other. They have magnetic filter adapters. They have a new shutter that supposedly doesn't do any vibrations, which is awesome. If you haven't seen Ondu pinholes, they've been around for a while and they've done great Kickstarters and great products. Also on Kickstarter is another Instax Mini little camera. It's called the Escura Instax Mini. I've been seeing, and I think I said it in the news that they were working on it. This camera doesn't have a viewfinder. It shoots Instax Mini and you have to hand crank it out. Honestly, I usually don't give my opinion on Kickstarters. I don't like the idea of no viewfinder. I don't like the idea of hand cranking it out, because when you're hand cranking, I wonder how the chemistry is too inconsistent, pulling it out. So when you click an Instax Mini, it breaks the chemistry little pod and it spreads throughout the image, but it's constant. So it's like, and it comes out. If you're doing it by hand, as you don't want it, you're going to maybe take half a second between cranking it and cranking it again. You might get inconsistencies in your shots. I'm not saying this to put their Kickstarter down. I'm just saying you might be careful when you're cranking it out to make sure that that works, or ask them on Kickstarter. It looks retro. It looks kind of coolish, but honestly, another Instax Mini, after what happened to the Jolly Box, I think a lot of people are going to be quite skeptic about this. But yeah, if you want to see it and you want to back it, you're more than welcome. The link is in the description. Also, we have a little leak from a conversation from the Indiefilmlab. I think they went live on Instagram and said they were working on a new high, workflow scanner. I'm guessing for major labs, as we all know, the Fuji Frontiers and all these and the Noritsus are no longer being made as far as I know. So he's working with a company, he didn't say who, working on a new scanner for, I'm guessing, labs. I don't think it'll be for the customer, like a one-on-one person, but more for big labs that batch scan things. So that's exciting because we all know scanners are, there's a lot of consumer level scanners, but the top notch have pretty much gone. Also, I will be leaving on Friday for a little holiday wedding in the United States. As some of you guys might have seen, there's some Echtachrome 100 here, which is the new Echtachrome that I just received today from my local store here in Spain. I will be taking this film and doing a video shooting it, but I thought, what could I do to make it funner for you guys? So whoever guesses what camera lens combo I will be shooting at least one of these rolls during my stay in Miami will get 2 free rolls shipped from me as a little giveaway fun thing. All I can say is it's going to be extremely hard to guess because I don't think anyone's made a video on this lens camera combination. But just in case, you know, I'm putting it out there. If someone doesn't guess, I will go for the closest guess to it. So leave a comment below. Let me know what body, what lens I will be using in Miami. It's not going to be a camera that I've had in my hands before, so you can discard all my cameras so far. And let me know. It's not this one either, okay? And I'm not doing it like a little tease. This Olympus might come with me, but it will shoot normal film, not Echtachrome. So yeah, guys, that's it for the news this week. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for camerastore.com for sponsoring this YouTube channel. And if you have any information, you can send an email to the email below. See you next week in sunny Florida. Thank you, guys.